Hello, in previous video, I showed you the most commonly used functions, that displayed by default on Add New Post or Edit Post screens. It's time now to look at the functions WordPress, that has been hiding to keep the screen less crowded. You can unhide each function through the Screen Options tab at the top right of the admin screen, which reveals a series of checkboxes. Note that, if you did not install Classic Editor plugin, please see our other video of advanced post functions in the default Gutenberg block editor. Here, I focus on the Classic Editor of WordPress. Concerning the revisions attribute. When there's at least one revision, Screen Options also displays a checkbox for revisions. This displays a meta box. Clicking one of these links leads to the revisions screen. The revision you click will appear on the right, and the revision dated immediately prior to it appears on the left. Concerning the post excerpt. In fact, how excerpting works depends on which of two ways a theme can generate post content for lists such as categories, most recent posts and so on. You can quickly tell the difference by looking at the blog page of your theme or a category page. If you see the full content of each post, you can make excerpts show instead only by using the More button of the content editor. If you see short excerpts with wording such as Read More and a link to the full post, the theme is using WordPress's automatic excerpt function. If you're not happy with the resulting text, you can create your own excerpts using the excerpt meta box for each post. Now that you know when they can apply, walk through each of the three types of excerpting. Firstly, the idea of the More button is to place a marker where you want WordPress to end the excerpting process, and create a Read More link. An important difference between the More button and the other two excerpting functions is that anything above the line is displayed, such as links, images, video, and so on. Remember, this button functions only when the theme is not already using auto excerpt, that is, when full posts are shown in lists. Secondly, the automatic excerpts. If a theme uses the WordPress excerpt function, this is the default behavior. Take the first 55 words of the post, even if that means stopping in the middle of a sentence, add something like ellipses to indicate that the content continues, and finish with words such as Read More link to the full post. Remember, the More button does not override automatic excerpts, that's the job of the excerpt meta box. Thirdly, the excerpt meta box. As mentioned earlier, this meta box is revealed through the Screen Options function, and from that point on, it shows on all post screens, until you choose to hide it again. Whatever you enter here overrides the automatic excerpt created by WordPress, and there are two good reasons for doing that. No matter how well written your opening paragraph is, it's not likely a proper summary of your entire post. With the excerpt meta box, you can write exactly the summary you need. Although people understand the concept of cutting off a sentence in midstream, and needing to click to see the rest of the article, it's still jarring to be cut off like that. Better to have a complete thought as your excerpt. Although the excerpt meta box is not large, the amount of text is not limited, and you can expand the size of the field. But you shouldn't need much room for a well-written, short excerpt. People don't want to see more than 2 or 3 sentences. Concerning the custom fields, you rarely need to use the custom fields meta box, so keep it hidden. Just so you know, custom fields are used by developers to store additional information with each post. The actual custom fields interface is basic and potentially confusing to users. The discussion meta box is the place where you can override 2 of the site-wide parameters, under comments and trackbacks or pingbacks. By default, WordPress turns on both for all posts or pages. Check the case if you allow comments on this page. Uncheck box means that viewers do not allow to make their comments. This is a box that I tend to keep open because it reminds me to check whether comments are on or off for the particular post I'm working on. While the discussion setting controls whether the comments function is used on a particular post, the comments meta box displays the comments themselves if there are any. You can see the details of each comment, and when you mouse over one, it shows a menu for all your options. Although you can reply to a comment from that mouse over menu, you can also start a new one with the Add Comment button. Concerning the slug. There's little reason these days to use this meta box when dealing with pretty permalinks. It means that you can modify this auto-created URL of your post or page here. Concerning the author meta box. If you're the only person writing posts for your website, keep the author meta box hidden. By default, WordPress assigns whichever user wrote the post as the author. If there are multiple users on a site, this meta box could be handy if you need to manually assign authorship. Each user's name appears on a drop-down menu. If you do have multiple authors on a site, I would recommend not only displaying this meta box, but also moving it somewhere up near the publish box, so you can quickly tell who has been assigned as author. I finished here the video. If you find it useful, subscribe for more video. Thanks and see you soon in the next videos.